Y'all know what it is.
Can you talk about the early years with the X-Men, how you guys kind of came together, how the group formed, and how important the crew is? Before the X-Men, there was a group called the Supermen, who I think you kind of looked up to, and then you got like the Scratch Pickles, the Beach Junkies, all those guys like that. They've formed these crews, and how important is that to progressing as an artist? Having someone else like that you consistently practice with, and kind of hold you accountable. That sounds to me like I used to do promoting back in Phoenix. I haven't been a DJ like with turntables for more than like 10 years. Before that, I did promotions and I worked with bands. And working with a band, you had 7 people all working kind of towards the same goal and trying to progress as a group. And I could see a crew like a DJ crew having the same kind of mentality and having the same kind of leverage that comes with having 7 different people working on something like that. And I see that as something that's could be very valuable.
Well, DJing is a communal art form.
See, I didn't see that early on in my career.
It really is.
It really is. The community that comes with hip hop is something that's new to me. I didn't know about like the Herc in Salt Lake and B-boy community and the actual scene that comes with hip hop, and I love it. Like, to me, it's everything amazing that I've been looking for, and
it's amazing.
The early part of my DJ, it's just me. And I'm looking at other DJs, and I didn't have anyone that I could really bounce off of and work with. And if I had found a place like the Herc when I was a kid, I would have been in heaven. Like, that would have been my, and I found it when I was 35, after 10 years is working as a DJ. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Interesting. No, I hear you, bro. Like, I'm with you. You know what I mean? And the interesting thing about what you're talking about with regards to crews is a lot of people don't realize that hip hop is the extension of gangs. Like, the people that are responsible for this culture, the pillars of this art form, a lot of them, before they became world-renowned DJs and MCs and breakdancers, were in gangs. And being in a gang is a form of camaraderie that you don't experience by yourself. You are with your boys, you run together, and you fight other gangs, other rivals, other kids from other neighborhoods. There came a point where the pioneers of this art form realized that violence wasn't the way to express their energy, that they could respect each other's differences and showcase their differences in a more creative way without being violent. And hence the battles between crews like Cold Crush Brothers and Fantastic Five Freaks, DJs like Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa. That was their form of expressing that, all right, we're different. I respect that we're different, but I'm better than you. And doing the whole macho, chauvinistic, for lack of a better word, who has a bigger dick kind of thing, but in a way that's healthy and expressive and not violent. So hip hop evolved from gang culture.
Well, didn't BAM, like Zulu Nation, didn't it kind of start from the Black Spades?
Exactly. So when you reference crews like the Superman DJs, Clark Kent, DJ Scratch, Richie Rich, Tone Be Nimble, Plastic Man, Aladdin. These were the equivalent of what a gang would have been in the 70s, but instead of going around and beating people up, they're beating people creatively on the turntables. And the interesting thing about the X-Men was the X-Men was inspired by the Supermen in that, you know, guys can relate to this. You're in high school, it's the beginning of the year, and there's a new guy that like moved into the neighborhood and now is going to your high school. And that new guy makes the decision, you know what? I want to be the popular kid. I'm not going to be marginalized here at the school. I'm going to beat up all of the tough guys at the school to make a name for myself. That's how the X-Men was birthed. The X-Men came together, Steve D, Sean C, Roc Raida, Johnny Cash, came together to battle the Supermen, who were the most feared DJs at the time. So again, that mentality, that gang mentality is now being expressed creatively through music. And you have one crew's skills being pit against another crew's skills. And the crew that triumphs ends up being the kings of that city, if you will. So the X-Men were like, yo, man, we're going to call ourselves the X-Men, a different comic book characters, in order to make a statement that we want to go against the Supermen and battle them and let the world know, especially New York City, that those aren't the only DJs that can kill shit. And that's how all of these different crews started, man. That urge, that want to be known and be accepted and be respected. And all of that grew from gang mentality. So it's interesting. Now you have crews that might think, well, being in a crew is about everyone like being popular, but that's not necessarily the only aspect of being in a crew. A lot of times when you're in a crew, you help each other grow as DJs, because, for example, being in the X-Men, I knew that these guys were just as good as I was, and each day they were striving to get better. So that pushed me to practice as hard as I did and not settle and be complacent. So amongst, you know, the idea of being with other guys that are like-minded and are DJs and you could enter competitions together, a lot of it is just a motivating factor. Like, one guy is dope, now I want to be as dope as him, and you guys influence each other to practice.